And we are live. What's going on, YouTube Live? It is your boy, Billy Rowe. Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. It's actually the third Wednesday of the month of February. And if it's the third Wednesday, you know what it's time for. It's time for a Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it, tonight's topic is your success. As always, I like to explain what I mean by my topics. What do I mean by your success? What I mean by your success is that um, part of the reason that a lot of well, let me back it up. The reason I feel like it's your success is because part of the reason I feel like some of us don't achieve success is because we don't take ownership of it. We make excuses for why we are not successful, and typically those excuses don't have a lot to do with us, and they have a lot to do with other outlying things. This is a topic tonight that is about your success, about what your success is, how you're going to take ownership of your success so that you can be successful. So that's what I mean by my topic. I really am looking forward to this topic because this topic actually started coming to me right at the end of the last Wednesday word that I did in January. And so I'm really looking forward to kind of engaging with this topic, engaging with you guys as the audience. I hope you guys enjoy. Go ahead and get your seatbelt buckled up and fastened because we're about to take off. So jumping straight into it, the very first tool that I came up with when it comes to your success, what I thought was really important was that it's important that we stop acting like success is for everyone else. It's easy, especially in the age of social media, in entertainment, to see people who we perceive are successful and to think that that success that they have achieved is somewhere outside of our reach. Now, there's some people that are, the Warren Buffetts of the world that are just geniuses when it comes to investments. And so maybe you may not achieve a Warren Buffett level of success, but again, this is not about Warren Buffett's success. This is about your success. So stop acting like success is for everyone else, that it is something that you do not deserve, that's something you are not worthy of, that's something that you are not capable of achieving. So the biggest thing about it being your success, and stop acting like it's for everyone, success is for everyone else, is that really the person who stands to benefit the most, hands down, without exception, from your success is you. And so when you take the aspect of acting like it's for everyone else, or everyone else has access to the success that you don't have access to, then it's like, oh, well, I can't make it. I can't achieve that. And you find yourself in a place where you start really doubting your success or your ability to achieve success before you even get started. And what happens is it's like, then you try to get these outside motivators. Oh, well, I want to do this for my mom, or I want to do this to make my parents proud, or I want to do this to impress the boss, or whatever it may be, and do this to impress a girl, do this to impress a guy, whatever that may be. That is not the primary reason for your success. Your success is primarily going to be a direct benefit for you, whether that lands you the job, gets you into the college that you want to go to, gets you into the relationship that you want to get in, whether intimately or as friends. That success benefits you. And so when you act like success is for everyone else, you kind of take on this sideline mentality where you're just kind of sitting on the bench watching the game of everybody else becoming successful. And then you start slipping into this mentality of the victim. The victim says, woe is me. I'm never going to be as successful as that. Woe is me. I'm never going to find that type of success. Woe is me. Woe is me. And they just kind of watch life pass them by, and they watch other people hit milestones and get their achievements. Why? Because those people are out there trying to achieve success for them, and they understand that success, though other people may be successful, that does not exclude them from being successful in the things that they're trying to achieve. So that's tool number one. A little bit deeper um, on the benefits for yourself. There's benefits in success on when it comes to an emotional standpoint, and then there's benefits on a pride standpoint. And I feel like always when you're between emotion and pride, when you find yourself in between those two things and you start leaning towards pride, you start finding that your drivers for success start driving you somewhat recklessly towards success. So you might find some success, but then you have to start asking yourself, what exactly is success? Which is what we're getting ready to get into as far as tool number two. So tool number two is after you have decided that success is not just for everyone else and you can be included in the game of success, tool number two is really about defining success, defining what success looks like. One of the things when I was younger in life that really for me, when I was looking at success, I was like, I want to be successful. I want to have money. I want to be, just at the top of my game in everything. But I had to realize at least that I was sacrificing some things that were way more important than the success that I was pursuing, whether that was just monetary success or, intimate success or whatever it may be. I was sacrificing things that were more important. And as I've gotten older, I've had to redefine and redefine and redefine what success looks like. Now, there's a difference in redefining success because you feel like the success you're attempting to achieve is not achievable. That's kind of like taking the easy way out on your goals. It's like, I'm going to set this goal, but if I don't hit it, aim for the moon, land amongst the stars. No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is redefining success because as you mature, as you experience life, as you interact and fail through attempting to succeed, you start really being able to balance what is more important and what is less important. And as you place those priorities on things, you might find that you have to redefine success. If I wanted to define success as I need to be a billionaire by the time I'm 40, I'm probably going to literally neglect every other thing in my life that is important other than becoming a billionaire for the next 2 years. The problem with that is there's some things that are way more important than becoming a billionaire, at least to me, that need my attention and that need my effort to be placed on them as well, or placed in them as well. So defining your success, what that does is it gives you a clear path to say, okay, this is how I will know when I have achieved success. Now, if you just say, well, when I make $1 billion, I'll know I achieved success, you're going to miss so many milestones in between. And that is the other aspect of defining your success, is understanding your milestones that are in between. Because if not, it's going to feel like you're walking from one end of the desert to the other end of the desert. And it's not going to take into account that you actually brought water with you, or that you met some friends along the way, or that you came into actual little oasis where there was water for you to rehydrate at. It's not going to take into account any of that. And what's going to happen is as you travel all the way across that desert, you're going to be like, man, this journey sucks. And you're probably going to choose, or want to at least regularly, to give up and quit. So defining your success, what it does is it, number one, gives you the little milestones in between. But number two, it makes sure that you're not sacrificing the other things in life that are important besides that one individual success. I always try to aim or achieve a space of complete success where I can say, it's a church thing that I learned in church. I want to be successful spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally. And having all those 5 key areas for me in a good harmonious balance, that is complete success for me. So yeah, I may not have $1 billion, and trust me, I would not mind having $1 billion, but I may not have $1 billion, but financially, am I in a healthy place where my bills are paid, I'm not struggling, and I'm able to achieve some financial goals that I have set for myself? Absolutely. So therefore, I feel like I'm at least on the right road to success, and whether I make it to a billion or not is completely irrelevant in that success factor. So that's tool number two. Tool number two is about defining your success. Tool number three is about using healthy motivation. Man, when it comes to your success, motivation is going to be critical to achieving your goal. But if you're using the wrong motivation, and I normally don't say things are right or wrong, but I'm going to say wrong motivation. If you're using like spite as motivation, and to spite somebody or to make somebody regret, that's the wrong motivation, because you're trying to take a negative energy. And I understand taking something that's not so positive or something that's negative and making it a positive. I understand that spin. But when you're taking, like, let's say a car that needs fuel, that needs unleaded gasoline, and you're just putting sugar water in the tank, that car might go for a little bit from the leftover gas that was in there. But once it gets to the sugar water, it's going to burn that engine out. And you're going to find yourself stranded in the midst of going to your destination, which is success, which means now you're going to have to stop, wait for help to get there. Whoever that person may be that you confide in or whatever it may be, you're going to wait for help to get there before you can even get your car repaired or get your motivation repaired to head back in your destination. The other thing is there's a difference when I say healthy versus I guess unhealthy would be the counter to that. But when I say healthy motivation, there's a difference between like being compliant and desire. And so I wrote down here when you're dealing with motivation and you're being compliant or you're finding yourself in compliance, what you're doing is you are trying to meet someone else's expectations. And there is only so long that we can be motivated attempting to meet someone else's expectations before we get tired of being who we don't want to be or get tired of doing what we don't want to do because that's not our expectations versus our desire. When we're working on, and we're motivated from a space of desire, what we find is even in those times when it's difficult, even in those times when we're tired, even in those times when we really want to just quit and call it a day, we find ourselves pushing through. And we can find ourselves doing that more often than not when we're working from a place of desire, because that is driven by our actual internal expectations of ourselves. Um, and so that healthiness, that motivation, or having healthy motivation is a critical aspect to your success. Because again, when you're doing something that is not, that is to be compliant or to be vindictive or vengeful, at some point the vengeance just isn't worth the squeeze. It's like, we have a saying in my office, is the juice worth the squeeze? And at some point the vengeance is not worth the squeeze, and you're just going to say, why am I doing all this just to make somebody regret not being with me or regret spending that time with someone else and not me? Why am I doing all that when you can simply just say, okay, I'm not going to invest energy in that. And part of not investing energy in that is simply saying, I'm going to work on being the best me possible. And I'm going to work on trying to achieve the goals that I want to achieve outside of any experiences that you've had. Granted, there's been some experiences that I've had growing up where I've said there's certain situations that I never want to be in. I never want to be in certain situations. One of the situations is I never want to be in a situation where somebody can say, "Hey, I don't want you to be in my house. Get out." I never want to be in that situation. So I work very hard to keep myself out of that situation. But that is something that I desire. I desire to have control of me being able to stay in the place that I live, that I can pay the rent where I live, and I can do that independently by myself. I have a desire to do that. So that way I'm never having somebody who can come to me and say, well, I decided I don't want to pay the half of the rent. So now you and I got to go because we can't afford the rent. I try to put myself in positions to where things are within my ability to afford them as an individual. And actually, I got another thing about as far as healthy motivation is it's important to be honest about your true desires, and that's why I said compliance versus desire. It's important to be honest and transparent, maybe not with everybody, but with yourself about what your true desires are. If you want to be a billionaire, that's cool. Be honest with yourself about why you want to be a billionaire. If it's because you want to buy nice cars, nice houses, have women, have men that gawk over you because you have money, if that's what you want, be honest with yourself about that. Because what will happen is when you're honest with yourself about that, you can constantly go back and look at that I'm sorry, and look at that desire and say, is that still important to me? Do I need to revamp that? Do I need to just take a moment and say, that's not as important as I thought it was? Maybe I just need the right teammate or the right partner. I don't need 1,000 people that are in love with me. And so those are the tools that were really standing out to me. Number one being stop acting like success is for everyone else. Number two is defining your desire. And number three is using healthy motivation. Um, the last part about healthy motivation, and this is something that came to me when I was thinking about healthy motivation, was that whenever your motivation doesn't come from, and I'm going to use the word pure, but doesn't come from a pure or authentic place, at some point that is going to come to the surface and probably impede the success that you are trying to achieve. And the biggest area that I've seen this in and have personally experienced it in and worked to, I guess, inflict it, we'll call it, in, is in relationships. When relationships come to an end, if they don't come to an end on like an amicable term, it's easy to be like vengeful and want to be spiteful to that person that you're no longer in a relationship with. However, realize that the very essence of the relationship is energy going between two people. And it can be a one way, unfortunately, it can be a one way energy where you're pouring energy in and somebody's not pouring energy back into it. But that is the biggest area for, or the biggest component of any relationship is energy. And so you may be out of a relationship with someone physically, but as long as you're operating from an unhealthy motivation standpoint with spite or envy or jealousy or anything like that, to retaliate against that person for not being with you, oh, you'll regret not being with me, and all these different things that we tell ourselves, as long as you're doing that, you're still in the relationship. They may not be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years later. They may not be in the relationship any longer. However, you are still in the relationship because the biggest component of relationship is energy. You are transferring energy into that relationship and keeping it alive with the hopes that one day they will see you and regret not being with you. However, they may be living their life not thinking about the one day they may see you. And they may even one day see you and be happy for you that you've grown and that you found whatever it is that you are looking for. However, you will be irritated as all get up because of the fact that you were trying to achieve some level or some form of success that was motivated by an intent to make somebody upset or jealous. So those are the tools that I have for you tonight. I hope you have enjoyed them. As always with the Wednesday Word, I like to share a personal story that kind of got me thinking about this topic. And well, I take that back, because what got me thinking about the topic was after the Wednesday Word in January. But there was a personal story that really started bringing this topic home for me. And for me, that is when I went through my first divorce. When I went through my first divorce, I was very, very young, very immature, and very, I would say, vindictive. And not vindictive in the sense of trying to do things to sabotage the other person, but my vindictive nature was more so in the sense of that regret. I want you to regret that you and I are no longer together and that that was your choice. And what I found was, is it was that I was really working to become a better person. And I knew in some aspects I wanted to become a better person, period. Like I was like, okay, that didn't work out well. I need to become a better person. But there'd be times when I was working towards becoming a better person, and I would find myself almost like a child who's doing something that they want their parents to see, kind of looking like, "Are you looking? Oh no, you aren't looking. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep doing it, and then you're gonna see it, and you're like, oh, that was my man, and now he's not my man. Why did I choose that not to be my man? Yeah, that was the wrong motivation for me. And what I found was, as I experienced and branched out into the growth that I was trying to get into, there were times where it got hard, and I had to really reassess whether or not it mattered that this person regretted whether they were with me or not. I had to look at it and say, whether they're with me or not is completely irrelevant to the person that I want to become. Because if I'm with them and I become a great person, great. If I'm not with them, do I now not want to become a great person? Do I not want to have a certain level of respect for manhood? And do I not want to be the father that I believe my children need? Do I not want to pursue new relationships and try to build trust and honesty and integrity within that relationship? So I had to really remove who I was attempting to be in the sense of what I'm going to call winning the old person back, and really move into a space where I said, you know what, me being a better person and being successful at being a better person, that's for me. And if I happen to be with whoever I'm with, they will benefit from me successfully achieving being a better person. Now, being a better person and being successful at that doesn't mean that I'm a perfect person. I still have times where my energy is off, my attitude is off. Some people be like, "Are you hangry? Because you got an attitude today." There's still times where I'm not the perfect person. However, I know without a shadow of a doubt from the day that I was first separated in my first marriage to today, I am a much better person. I'm more efficient at being able to understand my emotions, to be able to articulate those emotions. Sometimes I get caught up with them, but I'm definitely more efficient than I was, because before it was like, I'm Billy Rowe. That's the emotion. I'm Billy Rowe. So you can either get with it or you cannot get with it. Yeah, the problem with that is when somebody said, "Oh, I'm not going to get with it." Now I'm like, okay, who's Billy Rowe? I want to be a better Billy Rowe so I can make them jealous of not being with Billy Rowe. And it became a slippery slope. So again, for me, when I stopped investing that energy, the relationship truly came to an end. And though I'm not on like the best terms with that person to date, I'm not on bad terms with them either. And um, the frustration, or the what's the word, the distraction that that person was to me, and I don't mean like they would just like, hey, look at me, but the distraction that they were, that I allowed them to be to me, is no longer present. And so as that person is no longer the distraction that they were to me, I'm able to work on continuing to be the best me possible, doing things on the first row, working on my book, making sure that I perform well at work, trying to be the best father that I can be. All those things are working towards my success. So again, at the end of this all, the biggest thing I want you to take away is that success is not about being perfect. Success is about defining where you want to go and understanding the milestones in between, to make sure that you understand that success is for you. It's your success. Your success is not my success. We can be successful together. However, at the end of the day, if I'm no longer here on the planet, your success is your success. And you would be responsible for carrying any torch and overlap of our success. And the same goes for me. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the Wednesday Word today. Um, the next time we'll be here will be March. I don't know what the date is off the top of my head. I forgot what the date is on March 3rd. But the third Wednesday in March will be the next time you will see me live on the Wednesday Word on First Row. Um, if you guys want to interact or have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me via email at billy.rowe@firstrow.com. That's 1STWROE. Happy to correspond with you guys via email. Currently not on social media, haven't been on social media all year. Still going to stay off of social media for quite some time. So if you do want to reach out to me, email is probably the best way to get in touch with me. But other than that, I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys have had a wonderful February and will continue to have a wonderful February. I look forward to seeing you next month on the First Row. Your seat will be warm, waiting for you. Thank you guys for tuning in. One love, peace, and God bless.